It is the unofficial soundtrack to Spokane.
When they started to peel up the earth, it got everybody's heart going.
And a hint of what's to come.
And then we'll start to bring the building out of the ground.
Spokane is booming with new buildings and new projects.
We want them to really walk in and say, wow, what a great community.
And more people looking to call the city home.
So we're the first buyers to see this one. You know, if you're from here, you're kind of drawn back, but a lot of people that are maybe tired of like a city type of environment.
And while the growth is exciting, it isn't always easy.
And now they're coming here. Well, $600,000 for an awesome house, that's not a big deal for them.
It's not getting any better. In fact, the streets are just getting worse and worse.
Is there any way to really even catch up on all the city streets, or is it kind of a perpetual catch-up cycle?
But even when the road is bumpy, there is a lot to be proud of when it comes to growth in the Lilac City.
Growth pushes us to be more creative, to be more innovative, and to keep going in with our plans.
I'm about as optimistic for my hometown as I've been since I came back about 30 years ago.
This is a KREM 2 News Special, Boomtown, Spokane's Growth.
It is an exciting time to be here in Spokane. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
And I'm Whitney Ward. Thank you for being here. In the next half hour, we want to focus on the rapid growth here in the city of Spokane and how the growing population and the construction is impacting the entire community.
There is a lot of development in the works and a lot that's already been done. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley highlights some of the recent changes.
In 2018, Spokane's Riverfront Park began transforming into an event-based attraction downtown. Renovations are still underway, but we've already seen bright and colorful additions to the iconic U.S. Pavilion. The park now also features the Numerica Skate Ribbon, the first of its kind on the West Coast. Kendall Yards is one of Spokane's many up-and-coming, trendy neighborhoods. It's home to new businesses and several seasonal block events for the community. And just a few blocks east from here, renovations turned Spokane's historic Wonder Building into a market featuring several food and drink vendors. The North Monroe Corridor project gave this street a fresh new look. The multi-million-dollar project closed this strip of North Monroe for 5 months, reducing 5 lanes to 3, widening sidewalks, and upgrading street lighting. In December 2018, the city officially opened the University District Pedestrian and Bicycle Bridge. It crosses over the BNSF Railway Corridor, connecting Spokane's East Sprague area to the University District. Construction on the Podium, Spokane's newest sports facility, completed last fall. The $53 million project will bring major sporting events to Spokane. Adjacent to the Podium will be Spokane's new downtown stadium. The facility is intended to replace the 70-year-old Joe ALBI Stadium. It will be home to Spokane Public Schools football and soccer games, and even bring a new professional soccer team to Spokane. Amazon continues to expand its footprint in Spokane County. The West Plains Fulfillment Center opened in 2020. A second fulfillment center started operations in the Spokane Valley last fall. And the latest Amazon addition is Amazon Air at the Spokane International Airport. With all this growth, there also comes change to all of Spokane County.
I'm about as optimistic for my hometown as I've been since I came back about 30 years ago.
Dr. Patrick Jones is an economy professor at Eastern Washington University. He and a team of economists created SpokaneTrends.org. It's an online database that tracks Spokane County's economic trends, including people, housing, and transportation. Data from 2018 shows Spokane County's demographic is mostly white with an average age of 38 years old. But by 2040, Dr. Jones says data trends suggest the county is on track to become more diverse in race and ages.
I would predict, given the successes we're seeing here with our college graduates landing jobs, that 18 to 34-year-old group will also be very stable, if not grow.
Spokane's economy is dominated by healthcare, and that's not expected to change anytime soon. But Dr. Jones believes the professional, scientific, and technical sector could climb to Spokane's top 10 employment sectors.
As our economy, nationally, statewide, and locally, shifts to more knowledge-based services, then I think we will see that sector continue to grow.
So as you just saw, there is a lot of construction in Spokane, and one of the biggest jobs is just getting started.
We're talking about the downtown Spokane Stadium. There is still a lot of work to be done, but KREM 2 Sports Director Brenna Green has a look at what we can expect when teams finally get to take the field.
In a year and a half, these sounds will create this sound.
When they started to peel up the earth, it got everybody's heart going.
Spokane's downtown stadium is going from concept to reality.
We'll construct the buildings and the fields until 2023, the August of 2023, September.
The three-level stadium will serve as home for all of the City of Spokane's public school football teams and a USL team. That's a lot of programs to call one place home. So the designers made sure that when a team is hosting, it truly feels like their field.
It was really important to us at Spokane Public Schools to make home stadiums. It'll be an LED light display around the exterior of the stadium. It'll be a raise the flag. It'll be individual banners and colors inside the stadium as well.
What could make this stadium unique to all other outdoor stadiums in Spokane, though, goes far beyond LED lighting.
We're hoping to get a large video board, which would include all the things that go with a video board. So that'd probably be our biggest toy.
The school district is also looking to incorporate the now replaced Joe ALBI's history into their new stadium. For example, the plan is to relocate the Joe fan statue and the original Memorial Stadium plaque to the district's new digs. It's not just about the past or the now, though, for the building's constructors.
We kept an eye on the future to make sure that we didn't put any infrastructure in position that would limit us. And so we do have that ability to expand 10, 15 years down the road, or 5, whoever knows. But so we made the east side of the stadium adaptable for another level of bleachers. We made other areas available for larger concessions, all those things that would go with a larger stadium.
But we would be remiss to do a piece on the downtown stadium and not mention the biggest thing that held it up for so long: parking. What's the latest on that?
We feel that we have plenty of parking with the new areas around the facilities. I know that the Public Facilities District is always looking to improve those kind of things, and we think we're covered.
So, by the way, all parking for Spokane Public Schools events will be free. The district says it will take care of those costs.
Growth does sometimes mean saying goodbye to some Spokane history, and in this case, it means Joe ALBI Stadium is coming down. Joe ALBI was built all the way back in 1950 and has hosted hundreds of games for all 5 of Spokane's high schools over the years. The stadium, an office building, and all the outbuildings like sheds and concession stands will come down, while the parking lot is the site of a new middle school.
With record prices and stiff competition, buying a house in Spokane is not easy.
I mean, we're prepared for this to take, it could take a while.
Now there are questions about who can even afford it.
Well, $600,000 for an awesome house, that's not a big deal for them.
Stay up to date on the latest stories about growth in Spokane and the Inland Northwest. To get the latest Boomtown stories sent right to your phone, just text the word Boomtown, 509-448-2000.
It's a totally different world. I can remember neighborhoods when we were kids that, well, they weren't neighborhoods, they were fields.
This is the field that Ryan once knew. We now know it's a shopping plaza, Target, and apartments on Spokane South Hill. Welcome back to our KREM 2 News Boomtown Special. When you talk about growth in Spokane, you can't overlook the housing market. More people are moving in and prices are moving up. The recent rise even caught the attention of the New York Times. Take a look at this headline. It says the next affordable city is already too expensive. The article profiled several people in the Spokane community, including Spokane Mayor Nadine Woodward. The author wrote in part, quote, "Even the mayor isn't immune." The New York Times notes how most homes in Spokane sold for less than $200,000 5 years ago, a price that has already doubled.
So the Spokane housing market hit another milestone in February when the median home price in the county now has hit a new record high of $400,000. That's according to data from the Spokane Association of Realtors. But the numbers also show a drop in overall sales. So the question is, have things slowed down or is something else going on? KREM 2's Tim Pham takes a closer look at what is driving Spokane's housing market.
By now, these two have a routine.
So we're the first buyers to see this one. Nice bamboo floors.
Every showing hope and anticipation if this could be the one.
Nice master, good size.
You know, we started looking 4 or 5 weeks ago, and there hasn't been a lot listing in that time frame.
If there's been a listing, Ryan Minnerly and his agent Perry Dominy have seen it. Ryan and his girlfriend are looking for an upgrade and more space.
But I like the wood burning ones.
But as we know, Spokane's housing market is a crowded field. Whether people grew up here or have never been to the region, the secret is out. Many are discovering the Inland Northwest is a great place to live.
You know, if you're from here, you're kind of drawn back, but a lot of people that are maybe tired of like a city type of environment.
You get that big small town feel, which is appealing to out-of-staters.
If they see a $600,000 house, they sold their house for maybe $2.5 million in California. Now they're coming here. Well, $600,000 for an awesome house, that's not a big deal for them.
But some are wondering why some listings have sat on the market longer than usual.
But a lot of times when they are sitting on the market, they are priced too high. And then you'll start seeing a couple price drops, and then now the buyer's kind of in the driver's seat because the seller's got to get rid of it.
Dominy says some sellers may be trying to take advantage of the market, pricing too high, or buyers are backing out after inspections.
If a house has been on the market for over a week, you buyers start asking what's wrong with it.
Agents say sellers are in the driver's seat in this market and should make it competitive to get multiple offers. It's why Dominy says whether selling or buying, your agent is there to help you navigate the process.
It might take 3, it might take 5, it might take 10 houses to finally win, but you know, keep fighting and you're going to finally get there.
So for now, the process continues for these two.
I mean, we're prepared for this to take, it could take a while, could take 6 months, could take a year.
On to the next showing. With hope and anticipation, it could be the one.
Fence yard for the dog, though.
So one big factor that could affect Spokane's housing market is interest rates. They have been steadily increasing the past few months, and one mortgage lender we talked with said the rates could go up to 5% this year. So remember, anytime interest rates do go up, buying power goes down.
The focus on expandability and flexibility is really going to serve the airport well.
Spokane International Airport getting ready for some major growth. We'll take you inside the plans for more passengers and more flights. Plus,
shakes the entire truck and it's like, oh, did I just pop a tire?
More drivers and more potholes. Now the City of Spokane has a plan to stop them before they even start.
well, they are constantly causing headaches for Spokane drivers, those nasty potholes.
And it seems like they are popping up year-round now. As Spokane continues to grow, I talked with the city about its plan to tackle them.
No driver is safe, and every driver understands the pain.
Like they're everywhere.
Of Spokane's potholes.
Shakes the entire truck and it's like, oh, did I just pop a tire?
It's not getting any better. In fact, the streets are just getting worse and worse.
But as traffic builds up from a booming population, so does the road damage after a rough winter season.
You know, we're excited to see growth, but it takes effort to expand our infrastructure to meet that growth.
The Spokane Public Works Department keeps track of 2,200 lane miles on city streets, about a third of them on main arterials, which see the most traffic and ultimately the most potholes. Oftentimes in the very same spot.
So cold mix was an okay solution in the wintertime, but lots of times would pop back up. So we have equipment now that heats the cold mix, which gives us a much better seal.
Is there any way to really even catch up on all the city streets, or is it kind of a perpetual catch-up cycle?
It's a perpetual need, right? So we're looking at our system constantly.
And with Spokane's perpetual freeze-thaw cycle, we know this problem of potholes isn't going away anytime soon. That's why the city says now more than ever, they're focused on prevention and sometimes even changing the way these roads are built from the bottom up.
We use more base material. We make sure that we're compacting better. We make sure that we're using enough asphalt as our layers so that we can do a nice grind and overlay on a schedule.
And street maintenance projects are a big part of the city's ongoing 6-year plan. In just 4 years, from 2015 to 2019, the city spent more than $100 million on capital street construction projects like Monroe or Sprague, plus another $3 to $6 million each of those years in maintaining Spokane's busiest arterials with the heaviest traffic. This map shows traffic flow on the city's main streets, and take a look. The number of cars just along this stretch of division, for example, is steadily going up every single year. 44,000 cars a day in 2017, 46,000 by 2018, and 47,000 cars a day in 2019. During the pandemic, the city stopped tracking that data, but when it starts back up again, officials fully expect those numbers will show even more growth. Which is why they say maintenance will be key moving forward.
We're really scheduling out that maintenance. We say after so many years, we're going to crack seal. After so many years, we're going to do a grind and overlay. After so many years, we're going to reevaluate. Could it take another grind, or do we need to rebuild that street again?
They're also turning to technology in the ongoing fight against them.
We used to send out groups of college students to record the defects in the streets. For a while they did it on paper, and then they did it on handhelds. And now we actually contract with a company that can drive a vehicle down the street and be able to capture the defects in the streets. So where we have lots of potholes is an opportunity to make a bigger repair and avoid our crews having to go out and making those same pothole repairs every year.
And how much improvement can people really truly expect here over the next 4, 5, 6 years?
And we're getting to about 15 lane miles a year. That's significant. It's making a change that people will start to notice as we do those 15 miles pretty consistently every year.
Feist says it all adds up to a goal of working smarter, not harder, as the city continues to grow.
We think of streets as being something that has to be repaired all the time, but if we're successful, the individual streets that we rebuilt do not need repairs all the time. Growth pushes us to be more creative, to be more innovative, and to keep going in with our plans.
By the way, pothole repair is just one of many road projects underway right now in Spokane. Other work includes the North-South Freeway, of course, which recently got a financial boost as part of the state transportation package. The extra funding means the project could be done sooner, perhaps as early as the end of 2026.
And also sections of Thor and Freya near I-90 are getting a major facelift. That project is part of the City of Spokane's 6-year comprehensive street plan. The city will be shifting the road surface from asphalt to concrete.
And Spokane is moving forward with new bike lanes on Riverside Avenue. The bike lanes will be painted green and separated from the driving lanes with a concrete curb.
We want them to really walk in and say, wow, what a great community and what a wonderful experience I had.
Big changes ahead for Spokane International Airport. See how it plans to grow with our booming population.
Flyers have some new options at Spokane International Airport. In the last few months, at least 3 new airlines have launched service from Spokane. That includes direct service to Reno on AHA Airlines, flights to Burbank on Avelo Air, and service to Minneapolis on Sun Country this summer.
It is exciting to see all those new flights, but that is just one part of the growth that is happening right now at the airport.
And as part of our Boomtown coverage, KREM 2's Amanda Rowley is here with some of the changes we can expect at the Spokane Airport.
In late 2019, just before the pandemic began, I sat down with the CEO of the Spokane International Airport. Now, at that time, the airport reached a record of just more than 4 million passengers. Now, by 2030, it's expected to serve more than 6.2 million. Now, most of the plans we talked about 3 years ago that accommodate that growth remain the same today. And you're ready for it?
We are. If you look at our long-range plans, I think the focus on expandability and flexibility is really going to serve the airport well.
Spokane International Airport CEO Larry Crowder told me in 2019, part of that long-range plan includes the Terminal Expansion Project, referred to as TREX. The project includes expanding Terminal C, a new security checkpoint for Terminals A and B, a central baggage claim hall, and building a curbside canopy.
We want them to really walk in and say, wow, what a great community and what a wonderful experience I had while transiting through the airport.
But these plans have room for even further growth.
These facilities that we're going to build in the TREX project are really going to be built with the expandability in mind. So it's easy to say, okay, we can drop a wall and expand in this direction instead of, oh, what are we going to do now?
The airport also realigned the roadway leading into the airport, which created more parking.
Crowder says there is a plan and the space for a third runway, but he says we don't need one quite yet.
He says planes are getting bigger, which could mean fewer landings and takeoffs, but still more people. But if that trend doesn't stick, GEG could need a third runway sooner than later.
My sense is it's still a very long-range project, so probably beyond the 15, 20 or more years out before we're really going to need to take a serious look at that.
So by the way, you can expect to see construction start ramping up at the airport this summer.
All right, thank you for joining us for this KREM 2 News Boomtown Special focused on all the growth in Spokane.
And for more Boomtown stories, just text the word Boomtown to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that info right to your phone.
And keep it tuned right here on KREM 2 for more Boomtown coverage and updates. Good night.